Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ekta Saikal Malhotra, founder, Kiddo Mentoring. We're meeting after a gap of almost 2 weeks because the children are busy taking their exams and we should not disturb them. However, parents always are anxious, have anxiety when it comes to their children, exam time, or in general, and more so when the children are soon to enter the teens. Because when they are small, you feel they are growing up, they are learning, so you kind of, you're okay with it. You're not so fussed up or stressed up about the scores, about how they will shape up in future, and so on and so forth. You're perhaps only concerned about those milestones that a child needs to achieve when they are small. As they grow up, and as you grow up as a parent, the stress, the anxiety, the bonding with the child betters or sometimes gets impacted because not of the child, but because of our own legacies, our own inhibitions. Today with us is Dr. Smita Dipankar Chaudhary. By profession, she's an anesthetist. And you all must be wondering, an anesthetist here on Kiddo Mentoring. And Ekta is talking about parents, children, teenagers. Well, in addition to being an anesthetist, Smita is Mumbai's first TeenWisdom.in certified teen life coach. She's an certified skin fitness consultant and has been extensively working with teenagers and parents of teenagers for them to understand how they should go about their life. When we reach out to a coach, it doesn't mean that we have a problem. We reach out to a coach because we believe that there is potential in us and we want to harness it to the core. With this, I welcome Dr. Smita Dipankar on Kiddo Mentoring. Thank you so much, Smita, for being here with us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ekta. It's a real big privilege for me. So, because kiddo mentoring, the name itself is like, I can understand I'm working with teenagers, but you're working with kids. So, it's like, really, it's true that kids really need mentoring. And I have seen your versatile profile. I'm so privileged to be part of this session. Thanks for welcoming me.
Thank you so much, Smita. Smita, when typically when you deal with children, and I myself am a mother of a 4-year-old, and we always feel that when you have these smaller ones, your life totally changes because they demand so much of time, and as the children grow up, uh, when they are small, we want time for ourselves, but when they grow up, we tell them that please give us your time, and that's how the cycle has been for years together, for generations together. Having said that, as I understand, a teenager, around the age of 11, 12, the onset of teenage, typically teenage starts from 13, but gone are those days where teens actually starts at 13. Children these days are very smart. So the moment they move from that innocence to adolescence, there are changes that happen in their mind and body, hormonal changes for both boys and girls. And that is where I have seen, and perhaps even if I talk about my own self, our equation and relationship with our parents or vice versa changes drastically. So we want you to spend some time for us to know parents and teenagers, the relationship that they have, how can it be worked upon, what is it that needs to be done, and who needs to do it, the child or the parent. So over to you.
Okay. So, Ekta, first of all, I would really like to tell everyone, I mean, including you, that I have been there and still there. And my daughter is in teenage. She's going to be an adult soon, but that's it. So, I know I could totally relate the picture coming back when you're sharing, the relationship changing and things happening. It is there. That is the reason why I became a life coach for teenagers. I have literally give the entire credit to my daughter. If she hadn't pulled me to that extent of, with her mood swings and all, I may not have been talking to you right now. Just sharing my experience. I have always been one as a teenager. I have always been good in academics, but never into other fields. But my mom was there by me. She was a homemaker, so she was there, and my focus was studies. But when I got married and was in my anesthesia practice, so it was day and night calls. So for me, gelling in with my child was a little bit of a tough time. There were days when she used to sit outside the operation theater when I was giving anesthesia. So there were days, all those things, but all was fine until one sudden changes started happening where this chirpy, bubbly little girl suddenly changed into a, like, so she would never cry, and I used to see her, flowing with tears with the smallest of things happening. Didn't know what happened. But see, even being a doctor, I had forgotten that teenage mein hormonal changes hote hain, because I was into my profession. So it really was a reality check for me as a mother ki ha yaar hota hai. So I need to go back to, I read a lot of books, went through things, and it is, as you said, frankly speaking, it's no one's fault, neither the parent nor the teenager. So my experience till now, being part of life coaching with teenagers, specifically, I support teenagers a lot. The reason why I got connected with life coaching and for teens was I connected to them very well. I always felt that they are like, this misinterpreted breed of kids जिसको मतलब खुद को खुद भी misinterpret कर रहे हैं, and parents and the society also misinterpret. There are things that they're going through they themselves don't understand. The hormonal things are surely there, but there is a lot of things. I mean, if you can relate, you and me, our generation as teenagers, we do not have life being so complicated. We had, fixed things to do. मतलब प्लान था कि बड़े होकर ये करना है, ये फील्ड्स है, लिमिटेड फील्ड्स, और hobbies and lot of things. We had a lot of vacation में बहुत ज्यादा activities नहीं. Used to go out to our native place. I remember going out for a month or so to my native place, enjoying with my team cousins and all. But now if you just see, forget the last year, but still, other than the pandemic, in vacation में भी classes हैं. I mean, during the normal days, also they are having a lot of pressures. So all these things combined, they really don't understand what's hormonally going inside them. And second thing is, with so much of pressure, they really don't know what to do. Sometimes you just need to take a step back and rest and relax. जो नहीं हो पा रहा आजकल के teenagers में. I mean, either it's peer pressure, it's parent pressure, it's societal pressure, lot of things. And it's the same with the parents also, because I have realized ki, and you would also agree, that when we have kids, as you said, like 4-year-old, we are running around, but we know ki bacha hai, sambhalna hai, we have to take care of the child. But as we see the child suddenly grow up, 8, 9, 10 years, they are shooting up in heights, we feel, yeah, now they've grown up, so they need to take, they can take responsibilities. And during that phase, we are also growing. We are also going through situations where we are busy with our schedules, with our in-laws, with our parents. We are even working mothers, so working bhi chal raha hai. You're managing the finances, managing the boss, so you are also going through a lot of ups and downs. And if ideally agar dekhne jaye, to even one more phase that happens with moms is that you are entering into your menopause also.
Very
if it's like 40, 45, so it's like teenagers may be hormonal problems, and parents, moms also are going through those phases. So it's like, when a teen comes and tells me, I don't know why my mom is nagging through, I said, just relax. She's also going through the same phase, but thoda sa aage. So, but that's the situation where you feel ki parents' perspective, they feel the child is growing up. Now they need to take responsibilities. The child's perspective is like, my parent, my mom or my dad, they loved me so much. They spent so much time with me. Now they don't want me. Or, they don't, make kuch bhi karu, they are not interested. Somewhere parents feel that they just cut them off or slightly move ahead, leaving them a little bit independent. But the kids take it in the other way around. They feel, they don't love us anymore, they don't want us, and that is why it's okay whatever we do. So they go back to their friends, because it's like common things, common issues. And that's the challenge that happens nowadays. And then it's like, now if my parents are not concerned, so I will do anything as I want. But indirectly, what my message here is, you need to understand that in any teenager's life, the two underlying themes, what they go through is self identity and independence. The reason the changes happen is because they are trying to find out something which is different from what they are from their parents. Okay, if my parents are like this, what is my different quality? Because they are moving out in the society, so they need to stand out somewhere. So वो एक self identity होती है. And independence, yes, they feel कि yes, because they have so much of it's like physiologically hormones छोड़ो, neurons बहुत ज्यादा है. So it's like absorption, multitasking. They can grasp a lot of information, so they know I know it all. So they are ready to, independence. हमको सब आता है. We are grown up enough. But somewhere even parents, as parents, we keep saying, इतने बड़े हो गए हो. So when they are growing up, they feel yes, we have grown up, but they don't realize that growing up in height and having a lot of information doesn't make you an adult, because it's the experiences in life that actually takes you through adulthood. तो ये confusion दोनों जगह पे है. So trust me, no one is at fault. It's just a slight misinterpretation that happens.
So beautifully you've explained that, without even saying that it is the child who's not understanding and it is the parent who's not understanding. The way I understand it with limited experience in parenting is that, it's a two-way process. And that is the reason when I started kiddo mentoring, I started it with this thought in mind that, children don't need to be necessarily told everything. They need to be mentored. And when we mentor them, come to think of it, it is they who are actually mentoring us. We are just processing that information and putting it in a more articulated manner and giving it back to them. What they
Yeah.
have only, in some way or the other conveyed to us or made us realize.
Yeah.
But most often than not, as parents, we are unable to fathom that a child one can do without us, where they can. That is one. Second, because of that sudden changes in the environment, in their bodily environment or in the general environment that we are in today, we also start comparing कि हम तो ऐसे नहीं थे, right? And most often
Yes.
than not, शायद हम ऐसे थे, we were perhaps rebellious. We also went through those changes, but to actually acknowledge it to the child ki, "Arey, you know what, I also did this when I was your age," we don't agree to that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So Smita, as very beautifully you mentioned that, that when the child is in the teens, if the child is going through those changes in the body, in the mind, so are the parents, because they are also getting to that age where there are changes that are happening in their body also, be it men or women. If there is menopause for women, there is, I think it's called andropause for men.
Yes.
That is also
Yes.
happening. There are changes in their body also that they are going through. Midlife crisis, as one would call it, around the 40s or the 50s, where that there is only this much time left where you can accumulate all that you have for the next 30 or 40 years. The goals
Yes.
are peaking out at that time, your child's education and so on and so forth. So how do parents, build that relationship with the child at that stage? Because, I think the essence of a teenage and a parent will get out when the relationship is very strong and strengthened, where it is not always about cutting each other. No, what the parent is saying is wrong and what the child is saying is also wrong. So how does one work on this?
Here, basically, Ekta, I would like to say this is because most of the time what happens is we consider, as you said, we consider our child as a child. See, a parent and a teenager's relationship is a relationship which has to be worked on. Okay, it's just like, when you say that when you're working in your office, or you're as a couple, or in your relationship with your in-laws, it's a relationship which needs to be worked on every step, not to be taken for granted. What is happening is, as a mom, I will say, this is my child, ye kahin nahi jayega mujhe chhod ke. So you take your child for granted, the relationship with your child. So whatever I say, the child has to listen to me. And if they don't, I get angry or upset. Or the same thing is with a child. They are my parents. they will not go anywhere, you know. So they will cherish and work on creating good relationship with their friends, but not with their parents. So this is one very important foundation which needs to be drilled in both parents and teenagers, at every time you need to work on the relationship. It's always take two step back. Just when you're using a bow and an arrow, it's like take two the you pull it back and then wait. So it's like that. That's the way it works on. So it's difficult because uh, um, you know, it's like, you know, in our generation, maybe this time right now, every parent comes and tells me, you know, we treat our child, we behave like their friends. We want, you know, our child is our best friend. We tell them that we are your best friends, you can share everything with us, be open. The underlying idea of a parent to say this to the teenager is basically, we are there for you. If you're going through, let us know. But the child interprets in a literal sense, they are my friends, so they will behave with you exactly how they behave with their friends, and we as parents get offended, saying, you know,
And it is not only with the teenagers, you know. My 4-year-old also turns around and tells me many times that, you know,
yeah,
you said that you're my friend, then why are you getting angry on me on certain things?
yes,
So
yes,
I think, you know, that progression of the child and the parents' relationship, you know, one shouldn't start working on it when the child becomes a teenager, you know, because by then they have also kind of had, you know, have their own individuality. And in today's generation, the way I see, children as young as 4 5 are like, you know, like this is me. They have their own
yeah,
identity. They want
yes,
to be treated like adults. They don't want to be, you know, always mollycoddled or do puchi puchi to
yeah,
them. They like their
mm,
space, you know, they like their
yes,
independence. So uh, how, you know, like, we all know that we make these mistakes of you know, being that friend but not the friend. So how does, you know, how do you communicate to the child rather than saying that, look, I'm your friend? Instead, what should we be conveying to the especially to a teenager? See, because they, as you rightly said, that the moment they see that the parent is also changing, and no longer this parent who claimed to be a friend of mine is not a friend, because I am being checked on any and everything that I am doing, my decision making is being contested, right? And you know, like, because, you know, you start making friends, perhaps the focus also moves from the same gender to the opposite gender, you know, because of those
yes.
whatever changes in the,
The
and which is a
hormones
natural
are happening.
progression.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So how does
Yeah.
that happen? Yeah. Thank you, Monica, for saying that. So we have Monica Goel Divan. She's a mother of about an 11-year-old boy. The balance between being a friend and parent is the most complicated. So I wanted to spend some time on this, Mita. How do we deal with this
Yeah.
complicated situation?
Okay, so it's one very simple thing which I learned now recently. I mean, not learned, I have used to be doing it, but it just hit me recently. Is like we need to draw a line. Our foundation role never ceases as a parent. In some situations we change roles and become a friend. It's like, you know, जैसे आप acting में actors, one person will do multiple roles. That's the same thing, you know. We are a friend in some situations. So your teenager needs to get the message that yes, I am there for you in this situation, but otherwise there is a line drawn, which line you can't say. So I had this tagline to my friend daughter. I mean, it was more scarier for her because my message was, you know, you can't raise your voice in front of me. I was that kind of a person earlier. So like, इस घर में एक ही शेरनी है और वो मैं हूँ. So but indirectly what happened was, now I realize it when I go back and think, is that she knew that, you know, mom, this is mom. These, there are some things which I don't say. I mean, I don't express out, or, you know, share my frustrations. But yes, she's always there with me. So it is always, and you as an adult, the first thing that we need to do when your parent and teenager relationship is consider that individual as a person. ओके, वो एक इंडिविजुअल है, मेरा हिस्सा नहीं है. और अदरवाइज look into your teenager as if you're think when you're looking into your teenager, think as if you're looking into a mirror and looking at yourself. Would you say the same thing to yourself? If you're saying something, would you like it to be heard in the same way? Agar aap, if forget your teenager, if your boss, if your, I mean, for women, if your in mother-in-law says something to you, it's like, you know, would you like it to be heard? because that's how I have the reason I'm using this is because it was my learning. I used to be a very short tempered person long back. So जो भी aggression frustration होता था with my stress levels and working day and night with my calls and all, so all the frustration used to come up on my daughter because I said I felt that she is the only one I could. So I used to even raise my hand on her. I used to get really angry. My mom used to call me a Hitler, and it's still there. If I call out her name and in 2 seconds she's not here, I was like that way. So now she jokingly says that, Mom, I'm going to record your voice as an alarm clock when I go out in university. So whenever I don't wake up, you just say the word and I will be sitting up. So, but my mentor, my coach, she asked me once, Smita, if you were hit like this, or if you were, if somebody kept nagging you like this, would you like it? So that was like a, something which hit on me and said, ki no. And that day till date, she must be 5 that time. Not 5, yeah, 3.5 to 5, I think. Yeah, 5 years. So first grade. Till now, she's 17, never ever touched her. It's always handled peacefully, and it's all done. And the second thing that I came to know was when I used to leave my house, my mother-in-law once told me, your daughter, she just exactly does how you do. She talks like you. When you're not at home, she will keep the house like you. She will keep things like you. She talks like you, behave like you. And that was like, oh God, she's just modeling me. So I have to be myself. If I am, this is exactly, she's a mirror of me. So that came in a long time. So I used to be very conscious when I'm talking, saying things, saying all those things. And I still say it, if she's been short tempered or if she's been sarcastic, sometimes she's learned it from me because I have been like that. She's modeled me. So that's the message I want to give it to the parents, is that, I'm not saying watch what you're doing, because they will have to learn it from experiences. The world is anyways giving it to them. But if you feel that your child is not listening to you, obviously you need to be, एक ही चीज दिमाग में रखना कि I'm talking to a mirror. So how would I react to it? This is something which has been there with me, and I always make it a point when I do. And second thing is, be ready to say sorry and ask for forgiveness if you're wrong immediately. Never ever allow your parent ego coming in between and saying, I am a parent, it's okay for me. No, it is, yes, I am sorry, I'm really sorry I did this. I realize that I was wrong, so I'm sorry. So the moment you say that, they also are empathetic towards you. Because
Absolutely.
the issue that happens in teenagers is that suddenly when you start finding fault with them, remember, parents are the strongest pillars for your child. Bachpan se, anyone's opinion, if it matters for your child, is yours. You
Yes.
have a small kid, Ekta, if she wears some dress and you will just do like this, what we say, acha mama ko pasand nahi, I'll go and change and come.
No,
I
you're
think
right. Absolutely.
so even if that small frown on your face could affect your child who's a 4-year-old, imagine your words. Imagine the way we talk to them. For them, दुनिया तो वैसे ही मुझ पे भरोसा नहीं कर रही. If my parents say that I am not like this, or if I am lazy, or if I am like this, that means I am like this. They take it, and that becomes part of their personality. So it's like, just remember कि आईना है, they are your reflection. Just be there for them.
No, you've very, very powerful thing, but yet very simple. Kids mirror us, that's
Yes.
wonderful. And we have Monica and Minakshi both agreeing to what you're saying. And, I read somewhere, not in the context of parenting, but it was a very, we normally say walk the talk, most often than not, that, you should always walk the talk, practice what you preach, and so on and so forth. This particular article had a line which said, walk the walk and then talk the talk. Walk the talk, we all say. But what is important is, and as you very rightly said, that a child is watching you in anything and everything that you do. And I'm sure all the parents who are watching us or who would eventually hear this conversation will totally resonate with this, that if the child is behaving in a certain manner, good, bad, ugly, it is a reflection of you. So which in a sense, if we understand that it is always the correction that needs to be done, most often than not with the child, but with us, the parents. And only then, when you let go of this thing in your mind that a parent is a parent, and that ego that because I am older, I am grown up, of course you have more experience, but it is not a it's not a battlefield where there are ego getting clashed. Remember, mentoring is a two-way process. Our children today are teaching us. I mean, forget about our children. Let's talk about our generation and our parents' generation. If our parents have any, challenges with regards to mobile phones or technology, we are the ones who tell them, right? Because we are the one who have experienced it. But even for us, we experienced it perhaps when we reached college. But these young kids are experiencing it when they are in class one and on. And with this pandemic, thanks to the pandemic, they know the technology from very beginning. I mean, my daughter has fiddled around with my phone and laptop and has made me aware of so many features of my phone and laptop that I didn't know that it existed. Whether it was hit and trial, but I remember, Smita, my brother's daughter. There was like a mic, an iPad which was not awning for whatever strange reason, and we tried to figure out every possible button which we thought was there, but it did not start. This girl took it in her hand, and in a jiffy she put it on. And I was looking at my brother. I said, "Hello, you are an engineer. What happened? You didn't fix this. What happened to you?" So we didn't know what they did. So children really, take it from us. And in one of our sister concern platform, we had Brigida Datta, who spoke to us the role of mothers importantly in shaping the leaders of tomorrow, which means that children, I feel, mirror mothers more than they mirror father. Would you agree with me on that, Dr. Smita? You need to unmute yourself.
1 second, sorry. Yeah, if I have to tell you about this, it's basically, if I have to see, I normally say this. It's my experience is like up to the age of 13, 14. If it's a girl, most of the time she'll always be daddy's pet. Okay, and boy is mama's boy. But as they grow into teenage, during those phases, you need to learn to change roles, because that is the time when they're growing personally, physically, and mentally, and their issues will not be understood. Girls' issues will not be understood by the fathers, and boys will not be understood by the mothers more. That is the time they need to switch roles, and not switch roles exactly, but most of the time, majority, if it's like 60-40, just switch it. The dad spends 60 with the son and 40 with mom spend with that, because that helps them really well. And then you realize that your child actually picks up the qualities, and you will feel, my daughter looks exactly similar to me. I mean, if they see me, they will say, you're both sisters, look same. I used to always feel that she had very strong qualities like me and all. But now when she's realizing where she is, she's saying many of the things, she's like, I am like dad like this. I do this because of him. I learned it from him. So it's like the kids mirror both of you. It's never that moms only. Yes, moms, they learn a lot of values and things because they remember it later on, because you're there with them a more period of time. I tell my daughter extra 9 months, so it's like, you are there with me extra. So, but that's something which is there for you. But one thing that you could remember this is like, this is that one more line which I kept with myself is, I don't want my daughter to find some film star or celebrity to model. She needs to model me. So you can just work as a team, as a couple, you can actually work as a team. And there are some things she shares with my husband and some things which she shares with me. So we've always took out time. We used to go on single dates, father-daughter date. And this has been happening right from when she entered teenage. So it's like they go separately. Some things we enjoy together. So what happens is she will she mirrors those things of her father, those things of me. So it's different. So because this is the reason I'm giving this message is because many of the teenagers whom I talk to, very few of them tell me I want to become like my mother or my father. I want to become like that YouTuber. I want to become like this celebrity, or I love this footballer. So it's a big message that it needs the parents need to understand is that if why isn't your child wanting to become like you?
Correct. Absolutely. And especially the person who spends the maximum time with them.
Yes. So if that is there, that means there are some things which the child doesn't realize. So it's like, you should ask your child, what kind of parent would you like us to become? What would you like? They will never say it, but if you keep saying it, they will someday or the other, they will pick it up. But for that, you need to have eye contact with them when you're talking. Many of the times you're always on the phone. Acha, haan, okay. So that doesn't happen. You need to sense it. So that's what I would like to say. Mirroring.
Conscious parenting.
Yes, conscious parenting. You know about it because you have been talking to a lot of people and helping a lot of parents with that.
Well, I'm also learning. We've had a privilege of hearing Resina Dennis, who's also a parent coach, and with experience. I guess 4 years is too short to really say that I have mastered it because, of course, I have no qualms in accepting it publicly. That I do also have my flaws. I also, like anybody else, would carry my legacy, my baggages, my own mindset, and we also have our own temperament.
Yes,
Absolutely. And as parents, and with when you are multitasking with so many things that you do, the your own temperament has an impact, your tolerance, your patience level, and as much as everybody knows that patience and parenting have to go hand in hand, but it's easier said than done.
yes.
But coming back
Absolutely.
to specifically teenagers, Smita, if you could perhaps share a few pointers that what could parents do, maybe when the children are about 10, 11, something different than what they're already doing, to be able to get that comfort with their teen, the soon to be teens, so that when those hormonal changes happen, the the transition is smooth and easy for the child, be it a girl or a boy.
Okay. See, basically, you will realize these are small signs. You will find out that during the transition is like a girl who used to like Barbie dolls suddenly likes action movies. You know, something like that. You will realize it. You will come to know a girl who's so well dressed will be in a like to wear shabby clothes, loose fitting clothes. A boy who was okay with anything would like a brand now. So these are small subtle signs which you realize, and then don't say don't compare ki we were like this, as you said, hamare bachpan mein we were not like this, we did this. Okay, so be open to listening to their ideas, be open to understanding what they do, and spend a lot of time. So you can even dedicate parent time, and this is what I feel is dedicating one specifically, if possible, because everyone's busy now and working. You can have a family tradition kind of a thing, that this time is family time, or this time I spend with my child. So it is that is the time when you realize. So for me it was very clear when she was in her school ages. I was very busy in my practice, but I always made it a point that I went and picked her up from school till the end. I mean, till 11th standard, when she started traveling alone. But the reason was this 10-15 minutes of walk. Our house was just 15 minutes walk, and it didn't make it. I made it a point that we walked, and in that 15 minutes I could know everything that happened in her life. So it's very, you need to be aware, because those are the time, and the kids bolte bolte bol jayenge, you will not realize it. As parents you will pick up those signs, but you will not. So these are to be picked up slowly and steadily. Understand that they're going to be violent, they are going to be aggressive. I am coaching 2 3 9 10 11 year olds. Trust me, the 14-year-olds are better than the 10 and 11-year-olds, because these people have huge things. But the best part what I learned from these kids is that if you explain to them straightforward, they understand it better. As kids, our parents used to weave stories and then explain and give us, moral of the story. These kids don't have the patience of moral of the story. They're like, सीधे सीधे बात बताओ, what is it, what do you mean by this? They are very, because they're questioning and they have a lot of information outside. So what are you giving to them straightforward? So it's very clear. Give them clear messages. Let them know that if you are upset or angry, this is what happens. Or if you love them, show it to them. And when you're appreciating them in love, appreciate the process, not the results. And if I have to say, appreciate something which they did. If you say I love you, you don't say I love you, because every child will say my mom loves me. Say that I love you because you did this, or love you because you're like this, I am so proud of you. So these words actually help them to feel, yes, my parents are proud. And then when they see you going through, that happens. And second thing, a mistake which I had done, which I have done a lot, many a times, we as mothers, if you have, we tend to open up and sit and cry, or let go, or vent off our emotions in front of our kids. It's not right, basically. Sometimes it's good, because when your child is growing up, they will be your best friends and supporters. But during teenage, they're already going through a lot of ups and downs. And us period mein, when you're putting out there, you're becoming vulnerable to them, they will feel shattered. My mom, my pillar, my dad is such a strong pillar for me. And then it's like, but that also, it's not that, to the extreme, you don't share things. They need to know about what you're going through. My daughter always knew what I am doing as an anesthetist, how much of work and stress I go through, and how much it takes to earn a 500 rupees in my practice. That is also important, because we give kids freely. To gifts dena easy hai, but make it as a cherished moment where you're giving it, and for a reason, so they realize the importance of money. And because what I have seen is, in future, when your kids grow up, this is one more thing, when parents keep telling me पैसे की importance नहीं है उसको, हम खर्चा कर रहे हैं, वो बिंदास, मतलब they will keep demanding because they want brands. But I said, who introduced the brands to them? Who introduced the concept of, कि हाँ ठीक है, mom, dad, I give it to you. So have you, it's like, teaching a child to fish, learn fishing, or, directly give the fishes. So these, I know it's true with this, because this is one thing which I always.
Thank you. No, really, thank you for bringing this out. And, a lot of people already know that I am basically a financial mentor. And the genesis of kiddo mentoring actually started with the concept of introducing money matters to children way back in, I think, June of last year. And then I, extended it to bringing out the, the talk shows for children and talking to experts like you. But yes, that is one very big mistake that parents make, where they do not involve their children when it comes to financial matters. I am not saying that you need to tell them that, you're going through a miserable phase,
Yes.
but you need to tell them the concept, the value of things that come their way in a manner that they will comprehend and not get scared कि हमारे पास तो कुछ है ही नहीं. But
Right.
if you tell them, it helps for the entire family to bond. And we are, for the last half an hour or so, been talking about how to build that relationship with your child. Because the child may actually turn around and say what Smita just said, that you are the one who gave it to me so easy. Now, why are you questioning me?
Yes.
And this is what brings me to another important aspect, Smita, that what happens is that when we transit to being a teenager, many a times we're unable to differentiate between the right and the wrong, right? And there are a lot of influential moments that we go through. There would be people who we would meet, who would influence us, perhaps older than us or of our same age, with whatever backgrounds people come. If both the parents at that time take a very stern step that no, you cannot do this, is that a right approach? Or perhaps use a bad cop, good cop strategy, is that a good approach? Or is there a third approach to this?
Actually, yes, the bad cop, good cop works a lot, but sometimes drama also works a lot. It's more of emotional drama also works, because what happens is, when you tell something, when you tell the teenager no, that's something which they don't want to listen to. And if you like and you accept, I have faced this once recently, last week I was coaching this guy and his mom was like, he was aggressive, angry, but she didn't say anything. It's like, I don't like she being fake with me. Why is she showing that fake care? And I said, she wasn't fake, she was giving you the space. See, this is how the kids interpret it. So if you say, okay, fine, it's okay, we will handle it together, no, wo bhi nahi hota hai. So somewhere or the other you need to somewhere change roles. And Indian families mein bahut baar I have seen is like, the father is always kept at the pedestal type of a thing, where पापा को पूछ के बताऊंगी types, but I don't agree to that, because in my house we've always kept it in that way. But in my house it's like father has been a soft corner and I have been always stern, but she knows that the volcano in the father can erupt anytime. So when it is crucial matter, we just switch roles. But many of the times you need to sit and understand what exactly, it's always the best thing. What I would do is sit with a piece of paper, just like in corporate, brainstorm. Why am I saying, pros and cons nikal lo. Why am I saying this? Why do you think that person is right? Why do you want it to be there? And these are our concerns. Sit down, listen patiently. Don't, it should never be a verbal communication, because verbally emotions bahut peak pe rehte hain. So you will have an argument. And I have teenagers who always say we don't like to talk to our parents because it ends only in an argument and nothing productive happens. So it's like, sit with a piece of paper, sit in a corner, write down why you want to do it, and we will write why you don't want to do it. And then you come to a common consensus, and then realize that, yeah, sometimes the child is taking mature decisions, and sometimes, yes, the child needs to understand. And trust me, the teenagers know what's happening outside, what's happening in social media, what's happening out, who are there and who are not. So many times they will open up to you if they know that if I can say it and my parent will listen to me. Most of the time what happens is, when your teenager starts talking, the filters shut down, come down, and we are just thinking ki what next I have to give advice, what I have to say. It's not sinking in. So I would prefer, if you can't return immediately, you want to say something, पानी का glass लेके बैठो. When you're sitting with your teenager, sit with your coffee, or sit with a hot cup of coffee if you like it, or tea or coffee. Just sit and sit aram se. And so in that time, when you're drinking your coffee or tea, you are at a downtime, you're relaxing, so you are accepting it. So in some way, create such environments where it works, because good cop, bad cop also kids can sense. They are like, they will gauge it very well. Yeah, they will gauge it. They know it. They will come and they behave very nicely and sweetly in front of their parents, and they will come and tell me, what, my parents did this. So because as a life coach, they consider I am more of their friend, so they will share it with me, and they know I will not share it with their parents. It will be later on discussed in the parent sessions in a different way. But yes, that is how they know it. They are energy sensors. So, and genuinely, when you're talking also, don't fake it. I said, the child feels it fake, don't do it. Genuinely, they should sense it. It's more of, your teenager doesn't listen by words. They listen your feelings. They can sense your feelings. They are part of you. So they are very, very, very strong in sensing the feelings that you say and the way you talk. So it makes a difference.
So Smita, that brings me to perhaps my last question to you, that how important it is for a teenager to have a coach.
Okay. This is something which I have gone through, because the reason I became a life coach was I was searching for a coach for my teen. Okay, even if I have a very good relationship with her, everything is fine. But when I talk to her, somewhere or the other, the motherly instinct comes in, the protective nature comes in. So obviously, I'll not be able to listen to her. She herself has a life coach she talks to. So it's always a neutral person. And what happens is, many a times, just like I said, parents and teens are both going through a lot of turmoil. So you need someone who's a third party, who is not connected to you emotionally, and who can actually see both the perspectives. Trust me, when I do parent sessions, the coaching needs that they come up with, which they feel that is troubling the teenager, is never doing it. It's we as parents, we exaggerate a lot of things ki ye ho sakta hai, wo ho sakta hai, my child is going through, and nothing, my child hates me. No, they don't hate you, they love you the most. And in the when I talk about to teenagers, their coaching needs are way different. So what I do is I just balance in between to form the bridge, so that ek ka perspective dusra samajh le. So that's how its blending is required. And understand one thing, it's a simple thing, Ekta. You are mentoring, the importance is like, if your child is weak in math, or if your child wants to become a cricketer, what do? You teach
You get
them,
a
or
coach.
you get a coach. So if you want a child to develop life skills, and a person who understands what the phases and the things they are going through, and can assess it and help you, so it's like, it's having a life coach for teenagers is having a personal life skill coach for your child. It's a personal coach for exclusively for your child, customizing things based on the behaviors that the child is going through, assessing. Because many a times they just need, what I have seen is, I give them the ideas. It's most of the time they feel that it is theirs, because it's 90% listening and 10% talking. And in my case, when I'm talking to my daughter, it's 90% me talking, she 10% listening. So it's normally with parents also. So the thing is, they will come and tell me, you know what, my parents gave me the same thing, but that time they did not understand. But I say the same thing, they will understand, because they have a different perspective. And mom ki आवाज या parent की आवाज like मंदिर का घंटा जो continue बजता रहता है. So you just shut your, when she starts speaking, I will shut down. So sometimes that tone, when you're saying something, that tone will shut down there. And mine is a different, because I am a third person. So that's how the coach helps. The idea of life coaching for teenagers, because I know there are mentors out there for adults, and yes, they are going through phases, but this is the phase where they are so confused about things in life. A life coach is not a coach who will help them in academics. It's a coach who will
Correct.
make them realize ki why academics is important, why interest is required in academics. Marks and all those, you have career coaches and tuitions and all those things, but this is what is required. How your self-esteem is going to affect you, why is your parent saying this to you? So that's the reason I feel, yes. And internationally, that it's a very common thing, because the person who coached me, she's a life coach for last 20 years. So obviously 20 years, say, it's there for teenagers
Correct.
specifically. But in India, it's not, because we always feel that we need to do it all. We know everything. So that's one advice I would like to give, which my coach gave it to me long back, is that, Smita, when you're operating as a parent, right now you're thinking using your 150-year-old software. It's like 50 years of your mom's experience, 50 years of your grandmom's experience, and 50 years of yours. So if you need to become a friend and help in growth, think 10 years ahead of what your teenager is going to be. So when I started thinking in that way, I could actually understand what she may be going through or things that happen. So I became more understanding about her, because we don't sit with your old softwares.
Wonderful. That's a very nice thing that you have mentioned, and indeed very, very powerful. That don't look back, look forward and think forward. When you do that, then perhaps, and most often than not, I have also seen that parents who have teenage children, they always say that we are very good friends with our children's friends, and they will come up and open up with them, because again they view them as a third person, not as their parent. So, which also, is a message that parents really need to work on the relationship with the child. Even if you have a great relationship, it is always great to have a third person's perspective, a neutral perspective, because
Yes.
however great your relationship with the child be, there will be a moment where there will be conflict,
Yes.
and that conflict, how big or small it is, can perhaps shape the child's future, the mindset that the child has. And depending upon the situation, you may want to engage with a coach to help your child understand. I am sharing the website of Dr. Smita, where she has different kind of programs that she runs. In case any of you is keen to understand about them, how a magic can be created with teenagers. Perhaps you could reach out to Smita. So thank you, Dr. Smita, for sharing your insight as a coach and as a mother also. To publicly acknowledge all the mistakes that you did and how you took corrective measures is commendable. And it was absolutely amazing interacting with you to get a perspective of a mother as well as a coach. So thank you so much for being with us. And I am
Thank you.
sharing the website details with all of you, which is drsmitadipankar.com, which is www.drsmitadipankar.com. And if you wish to reach out to her, perhaps Dr. Smita, you could leave your content, your coordinates, in case anybody would need some guidance or
Yeah,
assistance
actually,
from you.
there is a link on my, even if on the website also, where you can actually book a call, which is a 15 minutes free call with me, so they can actually
Okay.
talk to me directly. So
Wonderful.
on the call you can check it out. So others, I'll leave the details in the comment section also. I mean, you have put it in the
Wonderful.
website, so indirectly they can just click it. It comes to me. We will talk to them directly, so they
Super.
can personally
Super.
talk to me and we can discuss.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So we,
Thank you so
thank,
much.
thank you so much, Dr. Smita, and you're doing a great job. And if the teenagers are coached well, mentored well, and I'm sure the future of the country will be in good hands. And that's what we all want as parents, that our children not only do great in scholastic or non-scholastic, but also turn out to be great human beings and grow up with good values and respect. But if you want all of that to happen, please understand that when you're talking to them, imagine that you're talking to a mirror, and that is bouncing back to you. So if you don't like to be spoken with a harsh tone, even they don't like it. So remember these basic rules. Build on your communication with your child and treat them as an individual. Be friends with them, but know where to draw the line, and it should be communicated that you can't be friends situational, but you could be friends for a certain activity. Like when you're playing with them, you could be a friend, but when you are having a serious conversation, you can't be behaving like a friend because they then need you as the mentor. That's the learning that I draw from Dr. Smita Dipankar today. So thank you so much, and I'm sure this is going to be helpful for me when 8 years down the line, my little one is going to be a teenager, and I'm sure this is really going to be helpful even now, because these tweens these days are the new teens, and they have a mind of their own, and perhaps child of any age needs to be viewed in the way that Dr. Smita has shared with us, so that you already start working and the journey is smooth and the transition is smooth for a child from being an innocent child to the adolescent phase and eventually being an adult. So thank you, Dr. Smita. It was wonderful interacting with you, and
Thank,
we're
thank you,
grateful.
Ekta.
We're grateful to you for
It's
this
been a
wonderful
great
session.
privilege. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.